Yo, what's up, guys? It's Dom, and you're tuning in to Talks with Dom, where we touch on the serious topics that dives into the creative within. Over time, the goal is to help each and every one of you partaking in this transformation to better understand who and where you are on your journey. So let's chop it up. So we've been on the topic of purpose and everything. As I said, I feel like I say that kind of like every video, but it's kind of keeping you guys on track. So we're on point 10 though, right? The lonely middle, right? I feel like this could be like almost like a mini series and everything when talking about this point right here. So I may do like an extra like 2 points that kind of attach to this, because this one is going to be fairly short, just because I feel like it's kind of plain and simple and kind of straight to the point. But it's more towards the road of not being who you were, but not quite who you're supposed to be either, right? So when you're thinking about the road that you're on, right, we were talking about earlier about how we're trying to distinguish certain habits, certain routines and friendships and ways that we looked at success and stuff that needed to change and stuff for the person that we're becoming today, or for the person that we're becoming in the future, right? And so this is more towards getting to that point of seeing what that is, and then making that step towards that, and now being in like a zone of really like a in between, right? This is almost like a middle stage of being like, okay, let's just say like I don't know, like if you are hanging out with people, let's just say like this, like going to work, and you have coworkers that like to sit around and talk about people all day. All right, let's just do something simple like that, right? Let's just say like you been around that for quite a bit of time, right? And um, you finally start to realize and understand that the more that you hang out with these group of people, that those things kind of latch on to you, and you sometimes will start to see yourself indulging into those conversations, right? So then the more that you indulge into that, then now that personality and like that trait kind of lingers on with you as you go off to different groups, even if you don't see it, right? So it doesn't have to be like in just that sense. It can be in any lane of things, right? When it comes to, I don't know, going around friends that drink, or going around friends that just like to party all the time, right? Or going around people that aren't that don't have the best character, right? um you're in a place to where you're just like, wow, like I'm so used to being in this part of my life, that now that I'm detaching from that place in my life, I kind of feel like I'm just coasting right now, but not really understanding that in the midst of you feeling like you're coasting, you're continuing to take the steps, like you're continuing to reach for that thing that you're becoming on the day to day. You're chopping off certain branches that don't need to be there, right? You're transforming the way that you talk to yourself. You're transforming the way that you talk to others. You know what I mean? You're transforming your perspective on life, and you just start to understand, like, dang, like the parameters that I had set for myself back then aren't the same that I have for myself now. So let's just say like um, you hit like a certain milestone in your life, right? And you be like, hey, like I want to celebrate, right? And you're so used to celebrating by, I don't know, maybe going to the club, or maybe going to have a drink or two, but then understanding that thing, like that's not really in my world anymore. So now it's just kind of like, dang, like what is the new, like how do I celebrate now? How do I how do I show um, the appreciation for myself for hitting that milestone, right? Um, it can seem like sometimes you can be at a point where nobody around really has that advice for you, right? And then for the people that are in like this lonely middle, that are at this like middle stage of really coasting and really trying to figure out how to rediscover things for themselves to continue to go. The people that have those people that are in those same stages or that went through that and that aren't at the next step, you know what I mean? Thank God for that. Like, right? Like that's a blessing for the people that do have that, but for the people that don't have that, right? It's it can be a struggle. It can be um a sense of not like darkness, but it can be more of a sense of kind of like you're walking through a cave, like you're walking through a dim tunnel, and not really noticing that you're really getting closer to being out of this tunnel as you continue to step and continue to try and continue to matter of fact, that's I didn't say that word. I didn't say that word. So see, look, I'm saying it even myself. I catch myself, so I had to catch myself. But no, you see yourself actually doing it and going, right? And it goes to where like you're focusing forward, and then out of nowhere, like you start to see how um, that tunnel starts to widen. The light at the end of that tunnel starts to become closer and closer to where the clarity of you moving through that lonely moment was really the season that you needed to go through to be able to test certain things, maybe mental, spiritual, physically, you know what I mean? Maybe it was just it was things that it was a test that needed to shake off certain things that hasn't been shaved off through like you acknowledging that certain things that had to go, right? So it just like that could be anything, right? It could be um a lot of things that aren't acknowledged and aren't truly known until you start to go through it and you get through that, right? So the idea is not to stop. The idea is not to think that it's too weary, it's too uncertain, is to not like unstructured, right? Because it's everything that it's everything it's supposed to be, really. You know what I mean? For you in that stage, um, just to be able to reap the benefits of understanding what that stage is like. So now, when it comes to anything else, I feel like that once you go through that once you start to understand how to go through that in different areas of your life. So I feel like it's really a plus um, in many ways where people may think that it's really a minus, right? But remember how I said before, we thinking better perspective. You know what I mean? Like the perspective, the way that we interpret certain situations are very vital to our future and where we're headed and who we're becoming, right? So let's continue to keep that in front of our minds. And into the next one, guys, I feel like that's really um, is all that truly needs to be said for this one. I'm going to have another one. I want to say about like two more videos that kind of touch on that just a little bit more to kind of make that, to kind of like solidify this point because I mess with this point. Like this point is pretty dope. So look forward to that. And just into the next one though, guys. Peace.